Let me ask you something. Could something that happened in nature 7 million years ago teach us about the right attitude for what is happening with us today? 7 million years ago, something outstanding happened. Monkeys, primates used to live in the trees. Up in the trees, they were protected from most predators. They were having a good time, well, except for the occasional stink, perhaps. But for the most part, they were having a good time in the trees until one day nature brought them down from the trees. The brains growing inside the skulls of these primates were getting too big, too heavy to be supported. Nature forced them, gravity forced them to come down and to give birth on the ground and to spend more time on the ground. It couldn't function as well as the other primates who didn't receive this upgrade in their operating system. If we were alive 7 million years ago, but with our current understanding of human society, I bet our reaction would have been something like, how can we go back to the trees? We're all gonna die, our heads are too big, we gotta shrink him, we gotta find a solution. Don't think too much.
Don't use your brain, it's dangerous for our survival.
It's hurting our entire tree-based economy. What are you thinking? The authorities would say something like, we'll figure it out. Or we're trying to get back to normal. Well, swinging has become harder. What can you do? That's our way of life. That's the monkey spirit. And by God, we're going to preserve it. That's what we've been doing. That's all we know how to do. That's the mindset with which we would have tackled the problem, most likely. We'd probably look to some smart monkey somewhere to come up with a solution, with a remedy, something that would keep our brains small and remain in the comfort of the trees. What happened back then, that dramatic change, that tragic shift in lifestyle was actually a beginning of something amazing. It was actually the outset of a new way of life. A new species, humans. Humans who started to walk upright to support the weight of their big brain. They were able to traverse and survive the savannah better because they could see oncoming enemies, they could make tools, they could harness nature, they developed language, they could communicate, create more complex systems of order between them. None of those things would have happened if nature hadn't pushed us out of our comfort zone. Could we look at the situation for what it is? I mean, just the facts, not the conspiracy theories and the fake news and the... What are the facts? People are stuck at home. When people are stuck at home, they get time to think. When people have time to think, they think about their lives. They think about their inconsequential place in the universe. They think about everything that we might be doing wrong. The way we work, the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we study, the way we educate our children, the way we gather, the way we spend our money and our time and our energy, what our brains are thinking about, what our hearts are yearning for. For as long as we can remember, we've been doing things on autopilot. And like it or not, this virus has made it all stop. Simply stop. In this pause, in this lull, I think, maybe, perhaps, I'm just using my big head here, I think we should ask ourselves not how do we get back to normal, how do we develop a vaccine and go back as quickly as possible to the trees, but rather maybe this is an opportunity afforded on us by nature to think for a second what we can do with all this newfound time on our hands. Where can we go from here? Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe. I mean, never before in human history have humans, all humans on the planet, been thinking about pretty much the same thing. This is outstanding. They did a study on primates where they found out that they spend about 15% of their time eating, drinking, mating, taking care of babies, necessities. The remaining 85% they were spending on themselves, on forming intricate social connections, on resting, on play, on being one with nature and all that. If we're the superior species, how come we're spending 14 hours a day? 14 hours a day on our necessities? How is that possible? What's wrong with that picture? It cannot be that we came down from the trees and went through millions of years of evolution to get to this point in life, only to have my life be worse than a monkey's.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear people say, well, we have bigger screen TVs, I have fruit in the fridge, I don't have to go looking for food. Yeah, no, but you have to work for 11 hours a day and commute for another 3 hours. We have healthcare system, education system, welfare system. We got no systems. We got nothing. I think this crisis has exposed exactly where we are. I'll tell you where we are. The life of the majority of people on this planet is worse than the life of a monkey. Yeah. This is at a time where humanity has the capacity to overcome any adversity, any scarcity, practically every human suffering, short of a few diseases here and there. We can decide right now that everybody in this world will have food on their table, have water on their table, have a table, a place to put the table in. We can decide to have that life, not the life where we're running around like crazy, making crap nobody needs and spending money to make people want the crap that they don't need, just so we can make this wheel keep turning. We can decide that we want to do it differently. It's so easy. We just need to agree. We just need to agree on it. We just need to decide that this is what we want. We don't want to go back to the trees. I don't want to go back to the trees. I don't want to go back to the trees. I want to go into the future boldly. If you look at the change in the past few thousand years, and especially the acceleration and the rate of change in the past 100 years, I think that within a few decades, a few years, a few months, we could be looking at an entirely different human species. That's the curve we're seeing. And I think I feel that if it brought us this far, I say, why fight it? I say, let's roll with it. Let's see where it takes us. Let's explore the next degree. Let's explore what else can we do with our time instead of doing everything we used to do just because society has been telling us to do it. Society can exist differently. Clearly, I think the past couple of months have shown that we can exist without sports games and fashion shows and shopping malls, endless restaurants, terrible commute, horrible schools. What would happen if we invested our time exactly like those monkeys, except with our human capacities to think and feel? Can you imagine what we can accomplish? What if we invested our time in one another, not in more external fulfillments, but in more internal relationships? I bet that's where nature has been pushing us anyways. That's what makes humans superior to primates. It's those existential questions coupled with those pleasures and pains we derive mostly from one another. That makes human life. Right now, with the virus in the air, our life depends not on some technology, but on how we relate to one another. It's human connection that we crave now that we can't have it. Even though just a moment ago, we were ready to just push everyone aside just to get what we wanted. Maybe we find a vaccine and things go back to normal. Or maybe we don't, and virus number 2 out of 300,000 sends us back to our room for another 6 months. Maybe. Maybe nature messed up our lifestyle because it was messy. Maybe like an untrained monkey, nature is shoving our heads into a pile of dew we left in our own living room so we can use our big brains and think for a minute. But we will probably think that we're too smart to listen to nature. Or maybe we can take a cue from something that happened 7 million years ago and stop resisting to what nature or the divine, the one law or network, the matrix, the web, or whatever you want to call it, is, common sense is telling us. Maybe you should try to see what makes nature tick and try to talk with it instead.